It's time to answer the age-old question of what are you listening to? And it's that all new punk. Hello, YouTube. Welcome in. It's time for a new show, time for a new episode. Also, hello and welcome into the Twitch chat who's here live on twitch.tv/Colin M. Parker on Fridays. The stream starts at about 8 p.m. The show starts a little bit later. But today we've got 15 songs. That's kind of like my current sweet spot in terms of like the set lists. I think that 15 is pretty good. That gets us usually somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half worth of content. And I feel like that feels pretty good. Help us, YouTube, we're being held against our will. Well, that's your fault. You're subbed. Also, shout out to Corduroy the Rat. New Corduroy video went up today. So please go check out Corduroy the Rat. Okay, up first, let's jump into the music. This is a new track from a band called, I think it's Gladdy. I think it's like Glad and maybe also Laddie. I don't know. Maybe Glady, but I'm assuming it's Gladdy. And this is I Want That For You. There's some like interesting voicings happening in this already. Already just like, I mean, good vocals, right? Very solid. But there's some stuff that has like almost that like Foo Fighters-esque feel to it, despite still being punk. Like they go for a lot of like extra notes within, kind of not exactly jazz-ish, but it's like teetering on the edge of that. A little bit different than your, not your grandfather's punk, you know? But still like a decent amount of overdrive on these things too, right? Like there's still some real crunch on these guitars. Like they're not, I don't know, like there's a lot of like mud in there. Not like it's muddy or muddled, but there's some, some grit within the tone. So you're kind of getting a little bit of everything. I like the way that bridge did that sort of build up, like just a classic, like, da, 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 like just snare and one cymbal, like starting low, building up, and then like the easy but nice little fill back into like this main chorus, and then exiting it out on it. That was also a cool way to end that. I was a little confused for a split second as to why they did that, but then it was one of those things where suddenly we had a lot of high energy, then the guitar dropped out, and I was like, there's like 10 seconds left on this song. Why would you drop down? But then they just kept doing it. So that was actually, then I was like, wait a minute, actually, I see the vision. With just the guitars out, I was kind of like, ooh, this is a weird last second step. Then they dropped the bass out so that it was just vocals and drums, and then it was just vocals. So it just sort of chunked down. Kind of liked that, actually. I'm seeing a lot of 3 agreements here. Let's see. The cover for this one is this one. So there you go. That is your first track. Fish is also saying 3. A 3 mince. There you go. Up next is Riffwood, and the song is called And Now. Okay. Very soft.
And I'm pulling through, touch to my brain and test to you. And now I'm tied inside a curtain, sentenced to pretend for certain.
This is that band that we've talked about in the past that is like teenage kids out in Utah that has the kid whose nickname is Shredder. That's this band again. I didn't recognize them at first, but that's the same group. It's on the tip of my tongue, but there's another song that does that exact same thing that they did in that chorus. Oh no. Or maybe it's the post chorus technically, but there's another song that uses this exact same melody. And I think it's because I'm hearing a different song at the moment, so like it's hard for me to fully place it. But this is definitely very familiar. This part. Oh my God, what is that song? I know what it is. Okay, hang on. I think. I will say it does make sense that the drummer is Shredder. I feel like I was always expecting it to be a guitarist, but like the drums really are probably the best part of what they've got going on here. Vocals aren't bad, especially for like a pretty young group. There's a lot of control within that. Still has some room for improvement, but still for young voices, that's a lot of control. Guitar tone is pretty decent. Bass is, there. But the drums are really kind of, I think, what ties a lot of this together. Kind of almost the way that Blink-182 is, like the rest of the stuff is great, but like Travis Barker is clearly the best musician in the group. So that's kind of happening here too. But Shredder is in fact shredding. Ooh. Oh. Very interesting. The way that all settles in at the very end, very different than I think probably anything else that we've ever heard here. A lot of different moments where I'm like, okay, an interesting spot to resolve to. And then it resolves again, and then it resolves yet again. And so like that's it's almost like faux resolvements. Like they kind of fake you out on some of those. That is pretty good. Give me 2 seconds real quick. I'm gonna double check. I'm thinking about the song that is like sticking out to me. And I think it's
I just stopped
right
to
on the
call
tip of
it.
my tongue. Oh, thank you so much.
Pardon.
Trumpet Master.
Thank you so much, Jen. Whoa, 37 months. That's crazy. Okay, so real fast, I gotta find that post chorus. Hang on. Hang on, where is it? Maybe it'll be right around here. Hang on. Should be right around here. Hang on. It has a little bit of oh, this is also not the song that I was thinking of. But like honestly, it does have a little bit of a stand in the place where you live. Right? Like it's got a little bit of that same that's what I was thinking was gonna happen after this first bit right here. Hang on. Hang on. Right. Well, I was not in the right key there just now, but whatever. You get the point. Anyway, that was that song. Excuse me. And I feel like there's another song that's also like right on the edge of my mind. I'll probably remember it in like a week randomly and go, why is that song suddenly stuck in my head? Up next, this one's huge news, folks. Remember how last week it was like, hey, Sublime after 30 years is putting out new music. And it was actually pretty great, right? This is yet another band, not quite as big or well known as Sublime, but this is a band who has not put out anything new in quite a while. I think technically the last like official album, if I'm not mistaken, was like 13 years ago. So this is a pretty big jump, and like them being like, hey, we're coming back. We're making new music. So this is a song called Whiplash by Big D and the Kids Table. Unlike anything else they've ever put out already. That's better. See, that's an entrapment because there's always been good ska. Ska has always been good. Hang on. Actually, this solo is kind of ripping. Hang on. That was a pretty good solo. And it did come before reggae. In fact, it's actually the main influence on reggae. This is pretty killer. I like the energy of this a lot. Big D and the Kids Table was a band that I never felt got nearly enough recognition in the field as like a band like Real Big Fish or Less Than Jake, because Big D and the Kids Table, despite coming out after those two bands, kind of still fed a little bit on some of the energy of the second wave. Not a lot. Like this is clearly still third wave, right? But like they have more songs that have like a second wave feel to them. And even in the third wave, there's like sub genres even within that. And they were kind of on the fringe of the side that was not quite as like, um, like not worldwide, but not grandstanding either. What is the word I'm looking for? Like the reach wasn't as much there, right? Like because songs like "Sellout" got put on the radio, but old Big D and the Kids Table songs were not getting radio time, right? So this is cool that they're back and doing more music, and that it rips. So I'm big into that. I think ska gets a bad rap, which is funny because like I will also sometimes, um, maybe it's just because I feel scorned as a former ska kid. They're like, well, it was never popular enough when I was around. So, but I do think that if you've got a good band, like if you've got good horn players, I mean, like, I think you should obviously still have a good guitar player in there, but I think that you can cover up for a lot of just sort of okayness in a band if you've got really good, drums and really good horns. That will carry you far. Or decent drums, really good bass, and really good horns. There's a lot more colors to paint with in a ska band. So you can kind of get away with some factors not always being top tier if you're kind of counterbalancing it with something else that is absolutely ripping. So welcome back, Big D. Good to see you. Up next is I Don't Want to Live Like This by Born for Nothing. Okay. The drums are pretty big here, which feels good. I like that the vocals kind of instantly tell you like, hey, when I was in high school, I had a lot of angst. And I'm still kind of relying on my old feelings to kind of carry me further, in this world. There's still a little bit of that kind of happening here, right? But like, there's some weird stuff here where some of the way the guitar stuff is lining up at times, like right now it's okay. But when they were doing some of like the like noodly parts over top of the rhythm, there was a little bit of like, it just felt not fully like they were part of the same song. I don't know how else to describe that. I don't know. There's a lot happening here in the background right now. Like, I like it enough, but like, I don't know if I would put this in like the overall playlist. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on how the people are feeling, right? But like, I think it's okay. I think it's all right. The question is, do we put that at 4 or do we put that at 5? Like, do we have faith that the last song will be better than this one? That is probably maybe more of a mini question. Mini is really, really big on the having faith moments, which is perfect, by the way, again, because this Sunday is also all about faith. I don't know if I did that in the right order. I don't know the order in which, you do the cross on your, on your chest. By the way, also just now, my You Gotta Believe, so you got to put it at 5 and then put the next song at 4. My camera did just catch my watch. They put out a new face watch, watch face, sorry, for face watch. That's crazy. watch face for the I watch, and it's Snoopy, and it changes every time. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can get it to go to sleep. Okay, hang on. Maybe. Oh, hello. Oh, there it is. There's like 30 of these things, maybe more. I've only seen a few of them repeat like per day. It is awesome. I love this new watch thing. Oh, that's a classic look. He's on the house. That's so cool. Sorry, I took a quick break for Snoopy. My apologies, everyone. Okay. So wait, so Fish is saying 4, but what is the rest of us saying? Are we saying 4 or 5 for that last song? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, also, I'll throw that. Oh, no, it's ad, my bad. Hello, Britbot, are you awake? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Britbot down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, don't pay attention to that. Uh-oh, hang on. Hold. I didn't realize that Britbot was down. Britbot, hello? Are you alive? Oh, God. Oh, God, is he dead? Please don't be fully dead. Oh, thank God. Oh, you had me worried, buddy. You had me worried. Don't do that again. That was a little scary. Whew. Okay. So Minnie, are you saying 4 or 5? I'll take your opinion on it. Because if not, I'm gonna go with just whatever Fish said, because Fish was the only person that threw. You have faith? Okay, we need a tiebreaker. Small, Alex, Emily, JJ, Dean. 4 or 5. It's time to know. Small is saying 5. Okay, I'm gonna change the answer in. Okay, I'm so sorry, Fish. You've been outweighed. All right, that means that by default, I'm playing Rat Coin. That tracks. I might pick that up tonight. Actually, we were talking about it also over in Jen's server a little while ago. That might be the game that we play after this. I won't lie. Okay, here is track number 5 by Golden Boy, called "Waiting." Oh, it's just a Green Day cover. I love this song. This is pretty good, though. I mean, like, listen, I know the source material is a great song. I think one of the most underrated Green Day albums of all time is the Warning album. But Waiting is so good. This actually might be my favorite song on that album, which is so funny. Like, sometimes I see a title, like, Waiting is so vague that I didn't instantly think that it was going to be Green Day. You know what I mean? But now it makes sense. But like, I love this song a lot. And they are, in my opinion, crushing it. piano interlude.
I've been waiting a lifetime for this moment to come. I'm destined for anything at all. Dumbstruck, calling me stupid. Good luck, you're gonna need it where I'm going if I get there at all. Wake up and better thank your lucky stars.
Interesting. Okay. You know what's funny is that it really wasn't until the very end of that song that I also thought to myself, I don't think this band is from America. It was just about certain ways that they did certain phrases. I don't know how to explain it, but it just didn't carry through at times in ways that I was expecting. And sure enough, I scrolled down a little bit, and this is a band from Norway. It's fascinating when you can kind of call a shot without, like, because it didn't necessarily sound like it was from another country based on like word pronunciation. Because like sometimes we get to that and I go, hang on now, that is not how you say that word, right? And then you're like, okay, it's someone's doing it like from somewhere else, like from Germany or whatever. There's a lot of we've had a lot of German bands here for some reason, you know? But it was literally when I was like, why did they kind of cut that phrase in half in a way. It's a little odd, right? Interesting. Okay, so this is where we landed on this one. Okay, let me just go ahead and download this real quick. So my question to you is what would you swap around, if anything? Okay, because if it were me personally, I'd maybe do this. Or maybe even that. Because, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm too biased just simply because it's a song waiting, but I think they did really well, really good with it. I do think also that Shredder maybe deserves to stay in that number 2 spot. But, like, that's probably the only thing that would really change is just swapping 3 and 4. Unless anyone else feels very adamantly about any of the other tracks here. Minnie says, I like this. It'll go in. I am good with this. Okay. I am good with it. It is well with my soul, as they say. Okay. Let me take these songs back down and out. And it will be time to start a brand new set list. Next up is Cult of Celebrity by Lambrini Girls. Okay.
From your eyes to make you perfect. You are Paris, Monaco, all the money in the world. Oh, how the other half live. The devil's on your shoulder with one hell of an offer. Don't you want to see how the other half live? Give me love, give me faith, play God, kiss of death. The devil's on your shoulder with one hell of a deal. Take it!
There's a lot happening here, like in a good way. There's like so many different like types of bands that I feel like I can point to within this moment. Like I know it's such a maybe an overused one by me, but like I think it's just a song that everybody knows, so I think it's a good point of reference. But there is very clearly a like Cherry Bomb type vibe to this, right? But there's also like a little bit of like Avril Lavigne in there. And there's also like weirdly some like kind of like Devo style instrumentals happening in the background, which I find very fascinating. It also ever so slightly reminds me of Do you guys remember, like, she was in last week's set lists and has been in a previous set list, Karen Dio. There's also, like, a little bit of, like, the Karen Dio vibe in this as well, which I probably not necessarily an influence, but just interesting that, like, they're kind of both existing within the same time frame, you know? Man. It's a short one. It's only 2 minutes long. I honestly, I could have gotten down to that song for a lot longer. I kind of wish that was not that short. I mean, I am a fan of a short song. You know, a short song can fit in the right moment. I was shocked that it was over already. Wow. That's a strong opener, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm also thinking too, because, like, I wouldn't be mad if that ended up in a number one spot in the long run, but, like, it's hard to say one out the gate. I think it's very rare that you ever see that, like, straight off at the top of a set list. Like, sometimes when you know, right? But the artwork for this one is this one here. Oh, there we go. I think 2 is a pretty solid spot. It's me rewinding. That is a pretty solid spot for it. I almost did it again. I kept trying to say stop instead of spot. I'm having typos of the mouth. That's probably a bad sign, right? All right. Up next, a band we've seen before, but I don't really recall anything about them. The only reason why I remember this name is simply because the name stands out and it has an umlaut over the I in this. But this is a song called Lily of the Valley by Poison Ruin. Rune, maybe. Ruin, who knows how you're supposed to say that. Whoa. I wish the vocals were not so far back in the mix and maybe a little bit less reverb. That's hard to catch what is happening in the vocals there. But the instrumental part is, like, very layered. There is so much happening here, and, like, point, counterpoint, and a counterpoint, basically. There's, like, 3 separate, like, melodic things happening all at once in the instrumental part underneath it. Almost like the Wall of Sound style in a way, but without being necessarily cluttered, because sometimes you do too much, you know? Yeah, I mean, the vocals aren't bad. They're just not, they're not wowing me, right? And I think that's part of the point too, right? Like, a lot of the songs on this show, but also, like, I think that if we weren't always competing to have, like, the best possible song on WBRP, if the focus was like, I'm going to find something brand new. Honestly, like, a couple of the songs that, like when I was just, like, bringing a song about soup, right? And you threw something out there. I think a lot of the times you find a lot of bands where there's a lot of, like, need for refinement, and maybe they won't necessarily be a household name, but they still have enough talent to, like, be able to go out and tour and do some interesting things. There's still enough going on for them that I think works. And that's kind of what I'm getting out of this group here, is, like, you know, I'm sure they're doing well, but, like, I don't know if they'll be like a band that, like, the entire nation knows. You know what I mean? I feel like it's tough because, like, again, those vocals weren't even bad. I just feel like they had so much happening with the effects on that voice that, like, I really couldn't tell what was happening. You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess 3. I guess 3 is fine unless we have anyone else feeling any specific kind of way. Oh, Fish is saying 4. Okay. Do we have any other thoughts on this? It could drop down. Oh. What's gonna happen? Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't know how much of that you guys can actually see. I don't know if it doesn't show it until I let go. Oh, we got another 4. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. All right. Well, that was a number 4 there for them. Up next, in all capitalization. Hang on, I'll lean back so I can kind of give it the same energy. Sorry, Crash by Eka Vandal. Sorry, Crash. In case you couldn't actually hear it.
Head straight for the river. I found a place where I could finally lie. Breathe in, breathe out the fear. But if the fall don't kill me wet, but if the fall don't kill me whenever light my tread up in neon. I gotta get my name up all in lights. Here is something to beat up.
Okay, I mean, like,
But if the fall don't kill me,
the drums are absolutely kicking. This, like, really kind of fuzzy, overdriven bass is also pretty neat. Not a lot of clarity in it, but, like, it's got some oomph in it, which is good because there's been a lot of songs we've heard today actually that I haven't mentioned yet, but the bass has just not been all that there. But there you can hear and kind of feel the bass in this one. And the backing vocal tracks are fascinating.
forced to go alone. Rocks to go the souls, pushing up on the seashore. Forced to go, sink to ocean floors. Abide, pushing up on the seashore. So much before, from way down south, I can't get over the lies that feel matters. So much before, from way down south, I can't get over the lies that feel matters. So much before, from way down south, I can't get over the lies that feel matters. So much before, from way down south, I can't get over the lies that feel matters.
I mean, I like that. I like that one. I'm with it, as they say. Give me 2 seconds to catch up real quick on. Yeah, man. I don't know. That's some good work right there. Okay, so we have 2 songs left in this set list, which means one of them is going to end up at number 1 and one of them is going to end up at number 5. I'm assuming that we have faith, obviously, that one of them will deserve that spot at the top, but will the other one deserve the spot at the bottom? There's only one way to find out, and that's by starting the first one, and that is The Way I Feel by Basement, a band that we've heard a couple weeks ago. Whoa. I don't know, man. I remember seeing that they had another single out, and I was like, oh, that's exciting, because we liked the last one. And it's not that I don't like this, but it feels way less, I don't know, like there's energy in it, but it just feels like it does not have the same feel, as the first one that we heard. By this band. I want to say it was probably about a month ago, actually, at this point. I think it might have been probably the first That All New Punk after my birthday / subathon. Maybe the one right after. But I don't know. It feels... It's good. I don't think it's a 5. I don't think it's a 1. I will say the drums, at the very least, we've been pretty blessed today. Like, pretty much every single song so far, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, has had really good drums. Like, we're kind of maybe in like a little bit of a golden era of That All New Punk and drummers in bands. Because it's hard to find a drummer to begin with, let alone a good drummer. So, let me tell you, as someone who has worked with so many over the years, that's a hard find. So good on them. Okay, so that was The Way I Feel by Basement, which means that by default, our number 1 track for this set list is The Fix by Co-Defendants. Starting with drums.
Stuck here and bored to death too. Oh, give me drugs, give me sex, fix these issues and make me bleed. I wanna crawl out the sludge, the mud and the blood, roll up my sleeves, expose these wrists have been cut. Basking in the bad patch that the bitter taste will bring. I need a fix. I need my daily conflicts. A self-destructive shot for everything that I'm not. If I don't communicate, 'cause I don't know how to be or live any other way. Realize that this life will never be stable. Married to a hoe that'll put me in the grave, I know. Many times I fucked around and found out. Chipped teeth, broken bones, blood in my mouth.
This is really cool. it's like, you know, vocally punk, but there's a lot in the background that is like so reminiscent of the, oh God, what is the name of the album? It's the Orange and Yellow and Silver album by Smash Mouth. It's the one that came out after Astro Lounge. We're like really like just like this. Oh my gosh, like they just had so much keys in there. The synths were going fucking crazy. Like the organ there was tight as hell. And there's like a little bit of Devo, a little bit of Strokes. Honestly, a little bit of Aquabats even. But then like a grittier vocal track than any of those other bands. That was definitely Fat Mike. Wait a minute. Sorry, I like last second, I heard something in that I went, that sounded like Fat Mike. Is he in that band now? Or is he... Interesting. Okay. He is in this band now. Okay. I did not know that Fat Mike was doing anything after NoFX ended. I was like, because I'm going to pull this back right around here. I think it was, might be a little bit after this, but all of a sudden Fat Mike of NoFX, like his voice is so distinctive. It's going to be right after this section right here. Man, that's good. Dog, I think I'm a Co-Defendants fan now. Okay. So let's talk about this set list here. I'm gonna go ahead and download this real quick. Now, where are we feeling? Because I'll be honest, I don't know if I could move anything. I kind of think that we may have, the only thing I might switch is 4 and 5. I think there's something to be said about 4 and 5 being swapped. But at the same time, like, I certainly would not be mad if it stayed as it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's that thing of like, there's elements that I like about each of those tracks, but would be fine with that in either order. The next question though that I have while you're thinking on whether or not we swap any of these, I think for sure the first two tracks, like track 1 and track 2, go on the overall playlist. What do we think about 3, 4, and 5 though? I think I would be good with 3 also being in there, but I also want people's feelings hurt on that. Okay, let's see. The Fix goes in there. Call to the Celebrity. Okay. No takers on swaps? If so, then that might be the perfect one. It's rare, but we've done it. There have been times where we have done the set list exactly as they should have been. Sometimes it just takes a little faith. All right. Well, if there's no objections, I shall move the tracks. Okay, we now only have 5 songs left for today. Up first is The Failure of... Wait, what is it? Hang on. The word is so long it's running off the page. The Failure of My Life Run on Self-Will by Car Underwater. Love a long title track. Like, that's so early 2000s pop punk. That's very Fall Out Boy of them. So I'm on board.
And when I go in
Okay.
for the last time, I kiss you and when to leave, then you stop me and you tell me everything. What's left to speak about? You ran and I kept walking. Perfume, it haunts me still. So medicated for a moment, I don't think it's working. Car crash you can look away from. But it's not over, I never meant it. Your name doesn't ring a bell. Going backwards.
It's just like a little too whiny for me. You know, like, we're getting really close to the Wheatus voice. We're getting a little too close to... I don't even know, because, like, there's just so much nasal. You know, like, there's something in that that's just a little too grating for me. It's also... Hang on. There's such interesting and like good instrumental parts here. But you know the thing that's also kind of frying me a little bit about this? There are 6 people in this band. It's not a ska band, so how are we getting 6 members in this mix? Like, I'm guessing that when we get those whiny vocals, it is doubled, so I thought it was just a doubled vocal track, but maybe it is 2 separate people singing that. And then maybe a third vocalist in there for this part here. But is that would probably mean at least one person with no instrument on that stage. And that just feels like a lot.
It's not over, never meant to. Your name doesn't ring a bell. Going backwards, you were faded.
And then there's the shouting.
I swear this will be the last time I see you.
I mean, it's kind of exactly what Minnie was saying earlier, right? Like, that is so instrumentally, that was really good. There was a lot to love about that. They had so many different elements that they brought in to play. Like, they started off with this like little acoustic part, and then they have these intricate different types of electric parts. The bass wasn't, fully swallowed up in the mix. But then they just had something. And then also just like, wow, 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 wow at the end, I don't know, dude. It feels wrong to say 5 off rip, but I think that's a 5 for me. I don't know. You tell me. But I'm thinking that's a solid 5. Emily is also saying 5. Yeah, it's I don't know. There's some interesting stuff in there, but the gratiness, you know? It's just it's grating. All right. After that is A Tangled Mess by Oakwood. Little noodles.
Where's the optimist in me? And did I lose myself to constant negativity? I say it's cool, I say it's fine. But the truth is, there's darkness always on my mind. A tangled mess gets worse with time. Now all I see is gray. And every cloud turns to a storm inside my brain. I say it's cool, I say it's fine. But the truth is, there's something always on my mind. I'm a tangled mess who's out of time.
It's not quite as grating of a yell as like the last track had, where you're kind of going like, wow, on it, versus just like, there's just something though that sometimes when we get into like this kind of shouting though, it feels like I don't know how to sing, so if I just talk real loud, you know what I mean? Because it ends up getting kind of one note. Right? We're staying on one note. I mean, literally, it is one note feeling, despite the rest of the song. I'm willing to give a 3 for Alex to have a song that, he is enjoying maybe more than some of the other ones. Oh, I will start playing the next song. I'll accept. But I certainly don't think it's going to end up higher than 3 for me. Okay. We'll give the 3 to Alex. Up next is Bike Beach Pub by a band called Rat Salad. That's a good band name.
Ride my bike down the hill to the beach and the pub. I don't need a lot of money 'cause I got a lot of love. From the west coast country towns on the coast to the places that I love the most. Yeah, if I lived in the city, then I need to be rich. 'Cause I don't wanna live 10 k's from the beach. Not about the rat race or fancy things. I'm a whole lot of traffic, pocket, pull your head in. I'd rather drive 4 hours on the weekend. Talking shit in the car with my friends.
Oops, sorry, I hit the slider on accident. Or I jumbled it. There's something really interesting happening in the background here, which is Oh, hang on. It's happening right now. Hang on. Yeah, I think there is technically horns in this song, but like they are so pushed back within the mix that they almost feel non-existent, which is just very strange. I don't know, man. It's so far back, like it keeps making me go, is it maybe a synth? Is it like a weird effect? No, I think it's a horn. And then it becomes very clear it's a horn. It's very odd. All right, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. There's a lot of stuff happening there. That of all of the shouting that we've heard so far has been the least like egregious to me. So I'm also good with a number 2 spot. So either number 1 or number 4 is the next song called "Burning Down the Curtains" by Those Without.
I've been here before, and I was caught in January storms. A bitter sense of purpose in the conscience you distort. The love, the fame, the teardrops down the drain. The service you're reminded that there's no such thing as fate. I'm not caught in the essence of you, but every time you struggle, you will sink beneath the surface. I am burning down the colors, darling. I'm not hurting, no, I'm not hurting for you. Distinguished features in the things we left between us tells me I'm still hurting, but I'm not.
It's like a little bit of like Neck Deep and like All Time Low, and honestly even like some Fall Out Boy. Like it's kind of leaning in on that kind of sound. Oh, and another song that ends up having shouting in it. We've just gotten into a lot of shouting like literally last minute here on this. It's the like, I'm trying to be a pop star type of vocals though, where there are a lot of the right? Like you scoop in or scoop down to a note, you know? A lot of scoops. There's a lot of scooping in this one. A lot of scooping, a lot of hooting and hollering. Oh no, wait a minute. 1 second, sorry, I'll pause the music. Hello, welcome in. Hello, Raiders. 1 moment. Well, hello. Whoops. Oh, I can type. I can type. There we go. There it is. No worries. I'm always willing to pause the music to say hello to some friends. Hello, Nick. Hello, Tyler. Hello, JY. Hello, Goose Tragedy. Hello's. Okay. Hello, Keening Thoughts. I saw the S on the end of thoughts and added it to hello as well, I guess. Welcome in, Raiders. I think today was Pokopia, correct? Yes, I think I saw that going live notification. It might also be part of that, like, it's in my heart and soul as well to always be playing Pokopia. I'm fully obsessed with that game. How was stream? And how is everyone doing today on this lovely Friday going into the weekend? And you are correct. Yep, we are vibing on some music. We're literally just about to end this section too. We've got 2 songs left on our set list for this week. I can't stop playing the game. I had to make a separate account where I could play it offline because I have like never wanted to play anything that was like storyline based and not do it on stream. But then I'll be like, I want to keep going though. I want to keep playing. So I do have 2 entirely separate game files for this game. That's how much I want to play. But love the game very, very much. I'm glad that you are also enjoying it. But if you're new here, if you've never been here, welcome in. My name's Colin M. Parker. I'm a variety content creator. I do podcasting. I have like a Marvel podcast. I do music shows here on Friday evenings. Then we do some. I also smack my mic all the time. We do music shows here. I'm a former band kid, not just like I played, tuba and stuff like that. I played bass, and stuff like that. But, I've also been like in bands. And then, we play a bunch of games. So, cozy stuff usually, but also a little bit of other stuff. Hope you have a wonderful stream. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and rest of the weekend. If you got to run, eat, drink water, sleep, rest, whatever, take care of kids, Did I hear you say you played the tuba? I did. I played tuba in symphonic band and marching band. I was the section leader because I was very cool. Always have been, always will be. I'm not. I wasn't. I was very unpopular. But thank you so much for sharing your community with ours. It means a lot every time. And I hope to see you guys soon, actually. I am going to be in Austin, I think at least 3 times this year. But I'm also like just down the road. I'm up in, nope, let me try this again. I'm up in Denton or up. I'm to the side in Denton. I'm somewhere in a direction that is Denton, Texas. So I'm only like, 2.5, 3 hours away. And we'll be doing our community event actually this year in Austin, Texas. It'll be Jen's Void's first time in Texas and in Austin. So we'll be hitting up a lot of the favorite spots and taking Jen out to see all the cool stuff and spots. There we go. So yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining us. We've only got 2 more tracks here, and then I think we're gonna play a raccoon gamble game, for lack of a better description of it. Here we go. Let's go back to this one here. I'm just gonna pull it back. I'm not gonna do the entire song because it's slightly long. We'll just start from right around here, and I'm gonna hope for the best when I hit play. It's a lot of shouting. It's a tough one. This is a tough call. I'm not huge on the shouting, right? Like, it's just not really my thing. But instrumentally, especially the drums, like the drums were pretty kicking on that song. And so like it's tough. Like I don't want to. This is probably of all the times here, I really am desperately trying to not be biased on this particular set list because I want everything to lay where it lies without me putting too much of my own like personal opinion on a lot of this stuff. But like if I have enough people, like thank you, Jay, I appreciate you backing me up on that. For whatever reason, we had 10 songs in a row where there wasn't a single bit of shouting, and then we've had 4 in a row, which is just like, what are the chances? What are the odds? Okay, weird. So I don't know. What are we thinking? Does that get the 1 or does that get the 4? Ooh, I totally agree with that as well. We had a Hot Mulligan song 2 weeks ago. The problem is some of these weeks really kind of blur together. But there was a new Hot Mulligan song sometime within the last month, and we listened to it. We enjoyed it a lot. Taryn, who is not here tonight, but our friend Taryn, who's in the chat frequently, loves Hot Mulligan. She posts about them all the time. So yeah, we're also fans of Hot Mulligan. I'm excited I'm hoping I'm going to be able to see them on tour this year. I know I'm for sure seeing Alkaline Trio in September because they will be in Austin the day before I am supposed to be there. So I think I'm just going to go there a day early so I can just see Alkaline Trio. And then I'll be set for the rest of the weekend. And they'll have their new drummer who his name I am unfortunately forgetting, Josh something. I want to say it's like Henderson, but I don't think that's right either. They have a new drummer. I don't know. It's tough. I would have loved to have seen them with Adam, but Willard, but you know, he's already out. So, and they have a new album coming out sometime soon with Travis Barker on the drums. So that's also a kind of a crazy time. But that let me go ahead and put this one up in the 4 spot, like we said. And so therefore, completely without my bias, without my opinion, swaying any of this, I do unfortunately kind of get a W for me in this column because saving it for last, the newest single from a band that I do love a lot, Super Sometimes with Makeup Stories.
Just give me a reason. What's the point in leaving when we know you'll just come back again? Cause I don't know is not a reason. Wish that you could see that. I won't let you lie to me again. Fall back on your crosshair weather friend. I don't need you. I don't need to hear your sad excuses once again. I get it. You're pleading your case, taking the bait. Scramble to make up sorry testimony. You play me like a rookie in line. A crooked move, a silent crime. Throw you right into the deep end, put you on the defense, cause we know you love to play pretend.
Yeah, I'm really glad that this is good because I would have been bummed if it wasn't. But I really like Super Sometimes because I think they have a very definitive sound, and yet maybe it's just because they're so new, right? But so much of their music kind of is like almost every song does clearly sound very different. They've got a lot of like range, I would argue, a lot of variety. They don't kind of fall into just like one kind of category. Yeah, they're all very young. Their first album came out when they were like 19 and 20. So I think they're all like 21 and 22 now, or maybe 22, 23, based on, I don't know, like just depending on like when they recorded things or whatever. But their new album comes out in May, and I did pre-order it actually, as well as a t-shirt to go with it, because I'm a sucker for a band tee. Especially now that now that RT has been shut down for a while, like I don't get free merch all the time or don't get a bunch of stuff. So like, you know, I got to get new things in the wardrobe somehow. So band t-shirts it is.
taking the bait, scramble to make up stories, testimonies now, but I'm taking higher ground. So now you play me like a rookie, play me like a rookie. A crooked road silent, a crooked road silent. Can't fly without you. Can't fly without you. Can't fly with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that is good. I'm looking forward to this album because like the first one was great. And so this one I think is also going to be a real banger. These are kids that I think really get it. I think that's one of the best things about doing this show is finding that there's a lot of like young bands that are out there that are really getting back to some of the like basics of the genre and like kind of pulling us out of, I don't want to call it a funk, but like for sure, there's a lot of new music that happened between, let's say 2012 and 2022, 2023, somewhere in there, where I just really was not a fan of where the sound of everything was slowly pushing. And then we've kind of started taking some steps back. There's a lot of bands that are, you know, some of them are like still in high school. Like there's a couple bands that have gone viral recently, like on social media. And it's very funny to me when it's like every single one of their shows is like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And it's because like they have school during the rest of the weeks. I just find that very funny. But then there's also like a lot of bands that are also like in college as well. There's been a few of them that are like touring and doing stuff. And they're like, this summer during our summer break, we're going on tour with like this band and stuff like that. So we're kind of getting back into that. They also like in every single music video and promotional shot, they are always wearing a like very, I would argue like niche most of the time t-shirt from another band. Like in one of the music videos they did, they had a Starting Line t-shirt, but it was like a t-shirt that existed for like maybe a single run. Like it wasn't produced a lot. And it was certainly like, I think a very limited edition shirt. And like they had one of those and I was like, you were, I don't think even born when that shirt came out. So how in the world did you acquire this? You know? I respect the hustle and drive though. Starting Line, also a band though, that just last year put out a new album for the first time in 19 years. And it was a absolute banger. All right, let me snooze this. I'm going to download this pick real quick. And then unless there are any objections, I think that this one also might be a perfect set list. Sometimes we, you know, afterwards when we're all done, we go, all right, let's get this correct. Let's change it up. But if there's no objections, I think this one might be just kind of one and done. Unless anyone feels really significantly about any of these songs in particular. Speak now or forever hold your rankings. We're set here. Very good. Very nice. Okay. Well then, one moment. All I have left to do is find this. Okay, here we go. Well, thank you so much for joining us then on this show. This VOD will go up probably Sunday, I would imagine, maybe Monday. Since this weekend has a holiday in it, I will be taking Sunday off to not do work for once. So yeah, it'll probably be Monday, but it'll be up on the YouTube VOD channel or the VOD channel for this show, not on the regular VOD channel. But that does it for this one. Thank you so much for joining us. And that is the way that the track fades. I probably could have done a better delivery on that one, but what are you going to do?